Okay. All right. You ready?
Okay, welcome to a blustery day. Our hair was going crazy. We're in Icy Straight Point, which is like this port place outside of Hoona, Alaska. Oh wow, that's loud. And I guess the fun fact about here is there's more bear than people. So maybe we'll finally see a bear today. Yay! Yeah, but this is what it looks like. So pretty. Yeah, no excursions today. Just exploring and hopefully seeing some wild wilderness. Oh, look at in their natural habitat. Oh. Will he do well? Will he? Oh, nice. This is our little morning Sudoku spot. They have Sudoku every morning and then like word searches and random stuff. So, yeah, so super duper cozy. Lance said, holy smokes. No wonder my parents are awake. Wow.
Okay, guys, I am coming on a little bit to fill in the holes because what you don't see is that this day my voice disappeared. And when I say my voice is like, I had no voice. I've never had that happen in my life, but my voice actually was gone. I could only mouth words. It was the weirdest thing. It's back now. So I'm gonna fill in some things because I couldn't really, film videos and talk and yeah. So what you're seeing here is that we stopped at Icy Straight Point. It was really busy that day. I think there was 4 cruise ships and there's only 3 spots for cruise ships to stop. And I guess we were the last one to show up that morning. So we had to dock farther out and we basically took our rescue boats. At least that's my understanding, is that we took our rescue boats in. So you got onto these little covered boats and rode the waves into Icy Straight Point, which
Scary.
So what can I say about Icy Straight Point? Icy Straight Point to me was a bit of an odd stop. It's closest to the town of Hoona, which you are able to walk to, but it's quite a hike. Or you can take a bus there, but otherwise it's very much a touristy stop. It is a lot of shopping. It is a lot of restaurants. There is one of those wilderness parks where you're climbing on tight ropes and through the trees and stuff on a harness. It wasn't open the day we were there though. And then there is the zip line. Now this is apparently the largest zip line in North America. Very cool. We didn't go though because 1, it was very expensive, because 2, you can only go once. It was very expensive to only go once. And it's just one thing. You're not going and then stopping and going again. You're just going once. Now it also goes very fast, 60 miles an hour, but we didn't do it. It overall wasn't my favorite stop. I like stopping in the towns where you could see where people were living and how they were living. This was just very commercialized and touristy. But that's just my 2 cents.
Okay guys, it is 8 a.m. on our last day. Oh wow, you really cannot see much, but this here, from here to here to here, is Hubbard Glacier. Apparently this is all the closer that we can get because it's really windy. Oh, somebody's coming to see. So we can actually see it from our room. That's where the best view seems to be. At this moment, they're kind of turning the boat so everyone can see. But yeah, that's Hubbard Glacier here. Let me try. There you can see it a little. It's really foggy, and now we're getting cold Alaska weather. So, no, that's my sister. She's in my parents' room, which is like right next to ours. But yeah, the last day of the cruise is this stop at Hubbard Glacier. We don't get off the boat or anything. We're not gonna go like walk on the glacier. But you're sad about that?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay.
That just seems like
but yeah, you just, but we're not gonna explain that. But yeah, there's like ice chunks that we have our handy dandy binoculars. That pro tip you must bring on your Alaskan cruise. And now we're turning so everybody can kind of like get a view of it. It's up there in the foggy area. But if you see this like dark chunk right here, yeah, that's an iceberg. So we're not going for a Titanic moment. So we'll just look from afar.
All right, now this is the next day. I didn't really specify it, but it is the next day, and we were driving out and stopping at Hubbard Glacier, which is a big deal for glacier people. What you don't see, what I didn't film, is that they do open up the front of the boat, which is closed off the whole time. So you could go on the very front of the boat, have your, Titanic moment, whatever, it was too cold for that, and look at this glacier, which was kind of neat. Now I want to point out something that you may want to think about when booking a cruise. Is it a round trip cruise? And where is it going to drop you off at? So I guess you could book this cruise Vancouver to Vancouver, but we booked it Vancouver to Anchorage. Is Anchorage on the ocean? No. We ended up in... We ended up in Seward. We ended up in Seward, Alaska, which was actually a 2-hour drive to Anchorage. And the boat, or the cruise line literally was like, find your way there. So think about this. Now, the cruise ship did have buses taking you from Seward to Anchorage. You had to book them yourself. The cruise didn't just automatically book you, and you had to pay for it. And you also had to get up at the butt crack of dawn to get on this bus to take you to Anchorage. Which also kind of stinks because most of the flights out of Anchorage leave at like 8 p.m. or later. So we drove on this bus to Anchorage, Alaska, and then we had basically the whole day there. They did provide a spot where you could store your luggage. How sweet of them. I don't know. I was in a mood that day. So, but we did get to spend time in Anchorage, Alaska. We actually got on a trolley tour, which ended up being a lot of fun. We learned a lot. And overall, people were a little bit salty that we didn't really know that we were doing this. And they kind of just like snuck it in there like, oh, ha, 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 find your way there. But it ended up to be a really fun day. It was a long day and then a long flight because I always say flying from west to east, the jet lag is different, okay? So that wasn't the nicest, but I do realize I ended, we were in Anchorage here, yeah.
Actually put up to prevent the moose from getting out on the roadways. The fence only has 3 sides, so they're not trapped in there, but it's designed once they're in there to kind of push them away from the busy roads and highways. As an airplane, type of landing gear, things like that. The little houses next to the parking spaces are what happened to husbands who buy airplanes without consulting their wives first. No, I'm teasing. They're mechanic sheds. They keep tools for working on the airplanes inside.
So because I ended this vlog, like I ended most vlogs, very abruptly, I would like to end this one a little bit nicer with food. So let's talk about the food on the ship. So there are restaurants that are included in your cruise ticket. Now they do have a buffet. The buffet is called, I had to write this all down because there are so many, is called the Garden Cafe. The buffet, you can go all times of day, grab food. It's where we typically went for breakfast because it was the quickest. Now there are sit-down restaurants that are also included. This was Windows, the fancier of the 2 restaurants, or Taste. Now, keep in mind, these restaurants took a long time, especially for us Americans. who are used to being in and out of a restaurant within an hour, they took at least 2. Now, we did have a group of 8, but it just took a long time. But they were open for breakfast and dinner, and they did have the same menus. One was just fancier. The windows one had big windows than the other. Now, there also was a place called The Local. The Local was like a little bar and grill place that was open 24/7. Served bar food like wings, you know, burgers, guac. That was kind of fun to go to late at night. And there was also an Asian restaurant which was included in your regular ticket. That was called Silk. Now, in the Asian restaurant, there was extra places. There was extra sushi and there was extra hibachi grill. Now, these extra places, you, depending on the room that you booked, you could get tickets to them. Like my parents booked a nice room. They got 2 tickets each to one of the specialty dining. That could have been this hibachi or the sushi. The other specialty dining, which you do have to make reservations, and you probably should make reservations the first day you're there because they did book up, especially if you have a larger group. So there was a steakhouse that was called Cagney. Looked nice. People really liked it. We didn't go because we live in Minnesota. It's a steakhouse. There was an Italian place. Here we did go. This was called the Onda. I think this restaurant was very modern looking. The food was, it was a lot of food, okay? Let me tell you, the appetizer itself was dinner, but I'm not complaining. But the aesthetic in the place was very nice. And then there was La Bistro, which was French. Also nice, but you know, some people in our group weren't feeling adventurous. And yes, then I said the teppanyaki is what they called it, but it's the hibachi grill and then sushi. So those are the overall restaurants of the Norwegian Spirit Cruise Line. I hope that's a happy end to our Alaskan cruise little series here. Thanks for watching all of it.